yourself?
Yeah. Am I talking too loud?
It doesn't matter. It's just the loudness.
Alright.
Okay.
I want to sit back.
Yeah, sit back and relax here. Okay. Who were the members of your family?
Immediate family?
Everyone who affected you.
Alright. My sister Anna. My sister Joanna. My brother Frank is a year older than me. My mother, her first name is Caroline.
Yeah.
And my father, who's got the same name as me, but he's a senior.
And that's it?
My grandmother, my mother's mother. My aunt, that's my father's brother, my father's sister that cuts hair, that cut your hair.
I want names.
Oh, Maria.
And what's your grandmother's name?
Madeline Drought.
And how about those other people you didn't name?
What?
Name your mother's name.
I said Anna, Frank, Joanna, Joseph, Caroline, Madeline Drought, Maria Tarantino. That's about it.
Okay. You remember all those people who you just named?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the first one you named?
Oh. Most tormenting relationship.
Who?
Anna.
Yeah. Why was it tormenting?
We never got along.
Why was that? What made her not want to get along with you?
Different kind of lifestyle. She was accepted socially and I wasn't.
Really, you think you weren't accepted socially?
Yeah, I think so for the longest time.
Well, that could have been just your delusion. You know, you do have delusions.
Yeah, I know.
How did you feel about the other family member? What, you know?
Joanna I was pretty close to growing up, but she turned on me.
Why do you think she turned on you?
Because I got arrested. She said something to the fact that she thought I was using my father, and that hurt my feelings so much that I could never see her in the same light, you know?
Just because she said you were using your father?
Oh, it's just a lot of things. It's hard to explain.
Try.
It was just hard watching her grow up and seeing the kind of person she turned into.
Yeah. Well, what kind of person was she?
She became, she had a lot of girlfriends, but she didn't have many boyfriends, and it just didn't seem what I wanted for her, you know? As if what I wanted for her was important, but to me it was, you know? So.
About another family member that you named?
My brother.
What's his name?
Frank.
How is Frank?
How's he now?
What does he do?
He drives a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
He went to school for it.
Were you close to him growing up?
Never. Once in a while. Maybe a year here, a year there, but not all the time.
How did you feel about him?
Always in competition, and I never succeeded in beating him.
Does that still affect you today?
Well, he's surpassed me so much in success that it doesn't matter.
It matters how you feel about yourself with him.
Well, he used to kind of protect me growing up.
Yeah, that's good.
Against bullies, and I kind of wish he still was protecting me.
Well, you have Gary now.
That's true, but it's not the same thing as your brother,
I know. What about another family member?
My mother.
How do you feel about her?
Forget it.
Well, I mean, what do you think her feelings are towards you?
I know she loves me. She says she loves me.
Yeah.
But she finds it hard to be close to me.
Do you push her away when she tries to get close to you?
Well, she doesn't really even try.
You just said she tries to get close to you.
Did I say that? Oh, I don't remember. It's late.
What time is it?
2:30 about?
Yeah. Monday morning.
2:30 Monday morning.
Okay, well, let's go on to someone else, your father.
My father has always been good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's never around. That's one of the problems. He's around when I least expect him. I just never know when to expect him, you know? But he is all I have to this day, you know?
Yeah. How do you feel about your father?
I love him a lot.
You love what he does or the way he is?
The way he is. Sometimes.
What was the last time you talked to your father? When?
A couple Wednesdays ago, I called from here.
Okay. Another family member? How do you feel about them?
My grandmother?
Yeah.
Well, I talked to her a lot more lately than I did in growing up.
Does she appreciate that?
I think she does to a certain... I think she really does. You know, appreciate it, but I think there's reasons that... I think she has other things that she does, that she talks to other family members, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And her son is very important to her, my uncle. And I think...
Well, which side is your grandmother on? Your father?
My mother.
Your mother.
I don't talk to my father's mother. She's in Italy and she doesn't speak any English.
Really?
Yeah. And both my grandfathers passed away already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you feel about them?
My grandfathers?
While they were alive in your life?
Well, my mother's father died before I was born, so all I had was a few photographs to look at.
Yeah. But what about the other grandfather?
Well, I saw him once when I went to Italy years ago when I was a little kid when the whole family went.
Oh, he doesn't speak English, does he?
I think he, I don't know. I don't really remember. We slept in the same house with him, but I don't really remember him too much.
How did he die?
I think heart attack. It runs in the family, you know.
Were you upset when he died, or you just took it?
Well, I took it. I think that was 1979, and I took it as something that just happened. You know, I was kind of young, and since I only seen him once. But my mother told everybody to really be nice that day because my father didn't know, and she had to tell him when he got home, you know, tell my father, because apparently they called, so I just listened to what she told me.
That's good.
This is my Aunt Maria,
Okay.
who doesn't get along with my mother.
Okay, why do you think that is? Are they from the same mother, parents?
No, that's my father's sister, the one that cut your hair.
So that's her sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay. And how does she get along with you? She seemed like she got along with you.
She gets along with me as long as she could say whatever she wants to about my mother, you know?
Oh, okay.
Well, I
You
never...
like her cutting down your mother?
No, I don't. It bothers me.
You should tell her that.
The whole side of the family does that, my father's side of the family. At least the ones I know. I don't think my grandmother is like that, the one in Italy, you know?
You don't know anything about that. Anyone else?
That's all I want to talk about.
Okay. What was your family life like?
Growing up?
Yeah, what was it growing up?
Well,
Family.
most of the time we had what we wanted.
Well, what did you want the most out of your childhood?
I don't know, I wanted to be like the other kids.
So you were constantly seeking their approval?
Yeah.
That happened. I never did that, but I know a lot of people who did that. People do it now to me. That's beside the point. What about you?
What do you mean?
What was it like? What was a day in your life like when you were a kid?
Well,
Pick the most memorable day and describe it.
pick 10th grade,
Okay.
first year of high school.
Yeah.
I would have to get up really early. So,
Talk loud.
anyway, it was a fight between me and my sister Anna who would get to the bathroom first.
Mm-hmm.
Usually she won. I would get ready and just wear the clothes I had, which consisted of different pairs of Lee jeans, all the same pretty much look to them,
Yeah.
and some flannel shirts and some t-shirts, rock t-shirts.
Did you go to concerts back then?
No, I've never been to a concert to this day,
Wow.
but I really liked music, music was a big getaway for me.
Yeah.
And I liked the music from the 60s a lot at that time.
What band were you buying records from?
The most, The Doors.
Yeah, me too. When I got older. Okay, anything else you want to tell me about your family life?
My parents would argue a lot.
Would they drink?
Not that I know of, no.
They didn't use drugs, so it was an alright family life, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your role in the family?
My role in the family was to listen to everybody else's garbage.
So they dumped on you? Your role was a big dumping place?
Yeah, kinda.
Did you ever dump on people?
I dumped on my mother a lot.
Is that why she doesn't like you think?
I think so. Because I always kind of thought of her as an easy person to get over on.
Mm-hmm.
And now I realize I made a mistake.
Yeah. When did you start drinking?
Well, this is all I remember about 1 through 10, but I remember having like a beer here and there because my father would give it to me.
Yeah.
I didn't really start heavily until I was 14.
Yeah?
And I went with this kid. I was delivering newspapers.
Uh-huh.
And this kid asked me if I wanted to go drink with him. He had a bottle of vodka, and I drank it with him.
Did you drink all of it?
3/4 of it.
And he drank the rest?
Yeah. Then I got really ill, and I had to go to the hospital.
You kidding me? Was that your first break?
You know what his name was?
What?
Kenny Nagy.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, it's not wasn't a break. I don't know if it was a breakdown. I'm not gonna say yes or no, but we went down the railroad tracks in Ford, and I got so drunk that I passed out in the railroad tracks, and he left me there. And then my brother told me a couple years later that he went looking for me. And he went to all my friends' houses looking for me.
And you were in the hospital.
Yeah, they took me to the intensive care unit when I was 14.
Detox or intensive care?
Intensive care.
What did they say?
Well, they waited till I sobered up and they put me in a regular room. And I had my mother and father come. And things were never really the same after that.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't like you? Did they know you were drinking?
They must have known. Because I was pretty drunk for 2 or 3 days, you know?
Did that bother you?
Well, I liked the feeling of being drunk at that time, you know?
What bothered you about the change and why was the change so sudden at that time? Do you have any way?
I think that was the start of my mental illness.
You do when you first started alcohol?
Yeah.
Started up too? I
think it started like right immediately at that time. Because I started withdrawing from people and I started getting paranoid.
Anything happen that you wouldn't want to tell anyone else but this tape and me?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything you want to say about things that happened in your life? That bothered you maybe?
No, that was kind of the beginning of my feelings of homosexuality coming out too. I just didn't know how to express them because it was such a bad thing at that time.
When did you start masturbating? 14? When you started drinking?
No, about 10.
Really, 10?
Yeah, I didn't come till I was about 12. I was uncircumcised at the time, so it was kind of different than it is now. That was another thing that made me feel weird, that I was uncircumcised.
What was your feelings about being a child? What kind of feelings did you have?
About being a child?
When you were a child. What kind of feelings did you feel towards other people?
Well, I felt like a homosexual.
When did that first come out?
I don't remember. I think my whole life, I don't remember ever not being like that. You know?
Why did you drink the alcohol? What did you feel about alcohol? How did you feel about drugs and alcohol when you were little?
When I was a little kid?
When you first discovered them?
I thought that was what bad people did.
Yeah. So do you consider yourself a bad person because you did them?
For a long time I did. I still do, probably, in a way.
Okay. How did you feel when you drank?
The first time,
All the time. So when you started drinking regularly.
I felt like I was some kind of popular person, which I had always wanted to be.
Did you feel like you were a bad person because you drank all the time?
I felt like I was getting a bad reputation.
How did you feel about yourself? When you drank, you felt like you got a bad reputation, even though you felt you were popular.
Yeah, with the people that I used to have a good eye with, the people that used to really respect me, I think I lost my reputation with. And those turned out to be the most important people in my life, you know?
Yeah.
So,
What about what you call it? Your drinking. After you went into the hospital, did you say you'd never do it again?
yeah, I did, but I did it anyway.
So you liked it that much?
Yeah.
Did you feel it progress and get worse and worse?
Well, that was when I was 14. I could see by the time I was going on 16 as it becoming a problem.
And what did you do about the problem?
I didn't do anything about it. I just tried to shrug it off.
Did you feel you needed the alcohol?
At that time?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
What did you need it for? To be popular? Or be bad?
I needed it to be bad at the time, not to be popular. I kind of lost sight of that anyway. That kind of faded with everything.
Did you feel it helped with your emotions to hide your homosexuality?
Actually, I started becoming more violent at the time.
So you got into fights?
Arguments that years later turned into fights.
Really? Your parents bring up things that happened years ago?
Hmm?
Your parents or your friends bring up things that happened years ago that you did that they won't let you live down?
My mother's especially that way. My father, too.
Did you make up excuses for why you drank?
Well, my parents really never confronted me about it.
Did they know you were drinking?
Yeah, they knew. My mother really knew, because my father was working all the time.
Okay, I'm sorry for the break. Did you have responsibilities that you couldn't handle because you were drinking?
Well, I quit school. I quit school when I was 16.
So you weren't able to finish school because you were drinking?
Yeah.
What did you do after you quit school?
I was told that I was supposed to look for a job, and I had a hard time finding one. It's not so much I had a hard time finding one, really. It's I had a hard time keeping one down, which caught up to me by the time I was 18, because my mother kicked me out of the house.
Yeah. Who put the restraining order on you? Your parents, both of them, they decided?
I think it was a mutual decision.
Okay.
That's not what I heard, but that's what I think it was.
Were you afraid of anything happening because of your drinking? Did you see what was happening to your life because of your drinking?
No, not at the time, no.
Did you have any fears about dying? You could have died when you first drank that alcohol.
I know, but something about it fascinated me in a way, that I lived, you know?
Yeah. So you have to do it again? Did you drink to calm your nerves?
No, actually, my nerves were pretty calm at the time before I started drinking.
When was your first lie?
I'd say about it when I was 13 years old.
You started lying when you were 13?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was your first lie?
Yeah.
Did it progress?
Terribly, yeah.
Did you make up lies so people wouldn't think you were drunk? Or when you got sick?
Not that, but I tried to make myself come out looking innocent. I would make up lies.
How many blackouts do you think you had?
Probably about 100 or so.
Wow.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Can you hold on? Can you wait?
I have to go.
Okay, let's go.
Alright.
So what were we talking about?
Lies.
Yeah, so you started lying when you were 13 about drinking?
Yeah, that was before I really started drinking. I was lying about things to get accepted in my mother's eyes, you know?
Do you think it worked?
At that time, the first lie I really remember telling to my mother, I really remember feeling guilty about it because I think it hurt another person.
Yeah.
An innocent person, you know?
Did you realize you were hurting other people by drinking?
Not at the time, though. Maybe.
What did you think about the people that cared for you?
I think they saw a change in me. And for some reason, I wanted them to see like an angry change in me at the time. And drinking was the only way I knew how to do it.
When did you start losing family members because you were drinking?
From the very beginning, I think.
How much did you obsess to drink? Were you really obsessed over it? You had to do it all the time without every bit of money? You beg, borrow, and steal, right?
I would pretty much steal to buy cigarettes. I'm still like that to this day. With alcohol, it's a little different. Usually I come into it, you know?
Are you gonna change that about cigarettes?
I would hope so. I'd like to quit one day.
I don't mean quit. I mean,
Stop stealing to buy them?
yeah.
I hope so.
'Cause that's not honest.
Huh?
Do you have a conscience about that?
Yeah, I do.
It doesn't make you feel bad when you steal for cigarettes?
Yeah. I'll tell you why, too.
Yeah.
More importantly, because it makes me feel like I never forget the guilt part of it, you know?
It lives with you forever.
Yeah, so I can never get rid of the guilt. Then you just add on top of one person on top of another that you've done it to, and you just feel bad.
You feel it's hard to make decisions?
Most of the time, yeah.
You realize that's from all the alcohol you drank and drugs you used, don't you? And your mental illness. All together makes decisions.
Well, I thought my mental illness is a result of my drug and alcohol use.
It could be.
That's what I always thought. I've been told different diagnoses in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe what my ex-probation officer told me, that I think it's something that, since I used quite a bit when I was a teenager, and I used stuff like mescaline, not very often, but I tried them a few times, I think the combination of all that has kind of made my brain kind of different.
You have an attitude of like, I don't care what other people think about me, I just want to drink.
No, I do care.